going to do what is called adding your financial goal to your monthly budget. Now, like I said, I love using the zero-based budget method, which means your monthly income minus your monthly expenses equals zero. I like to budget on a monthly basis. I like to break down money to where it's easy, it's digestible, and for me, that's month to month, right? And so when I create a zero-based budget for myself and also majority of my clients, we are tithers, we are givers, it is what it is. And so when we write our income, the first thing we write is 10% of that income for tithes or giving, okay? And then we write down saving 10%. Because in my opinion, no matter what your financial goal is, and if your goal is savings at this point, you'll just increase that amount that you'll put towards saving. But the minimum that you save that month, no matter what your financial goal is saving 10% in a savings account, all right? And right now, a high yield savings account, because you can get like 5% interest. That's a little tip from me to you. A high yield savings account, look into it. Capital One has one. Goldman Sachs with Marcus has one, Ally has one, but just write that down. If you do not have a high yield savings account for just a standard savings account, look into that, all right? And then you pay all your monthly expenses and then your monthly financial sub goal, all right? So giving, saving, monthly expenses, financial goal. Those are the 4 things that should be in your budget, okay? And so let's say, for example, you have $5,000 in your of income, right? And I want y'all to do this with me. We're going to write down because I want y'all to get used to what it looks like, all right? So $5,000 on your sheet of paper. We're going to put that as the top as income, all right? And so what is, let me know in the chat, what is 10% of $5,000? How much are we tithing or giving that month, each month? What is 10% of $5,000 income? And you can use your calculator if you need to. Okay, in the interest of time, I'm not seeing anybody in the chat. I'm sure private people are 500. Okay, thank you, Christina. 500. So we're going to save 500. Or we're going to give 500 and then we're going to save 500, right? Because both are 10%. So in my mind, I don't live off of, if this was my money, I don't live off 5,000, right? I live off 4,000 because 500 is going to tithes, 500 is going to savings, my high yield savings account. So I only got $4,000 to pay my bills and achieve my financial goal, right? And so let's say, for example, and I'm due for the interest of time, all your expenses come up to, let's say, $2,500. And that includes groceries, gas, your rent, utilities, everything comes up to $2,500. How much do we have left? So if you get your calculator, that's $5,000 income minus $500 from tithing, $500 from savings, $2,500 from all your monthly expenses. You are left with $1,500. What am I going to do with that money? Now, typically what people do who do not budget, they don't even realize that they have money left over after they tithe, save, and pay all their monthly bills or allocate money to their monthly bills on paper. They don't even realize it because the moment that they spend, the moment that they get money in their bank account, they're at the fast food line getting food every day for lunch. They're at Starbucks. They're at Target spending their money because they're frustrated. They're getting the latest and greatest hair products that come out on the market. They're buying weave. They're buying shoes. They're buying clothes. They're buying whatever they see on Instagram from their favorite boutique. Like they're buying shopping. To where they don't even sit back and say, okay, this is how much I have to go towards a financial goal, right? So what I mean is after the tithing, saving, monthly expenses, you need to allocate the rest of that money, whether it's $1,500, like in our example, $500, $300, $800, $80 towards your financial goal. What is your financial goal? It could be building up your savings. It could be paying off that credit card debt. It could be whatever it is that you're working towards, right? Putting money in a pot for your rental property, right? whatever that looks like. So then, if you have a positive number, if I subtract $500, $5,000 from 500, 500, 2,500, I got $1,500 left. I'm not done budgeting. It's not at zero. So if I have a positive number, that amount, whatever that is, can go towards my financial goal. In this case, it's $1,500. For some of us, it might be $200. For some of us, it might be $2,000, right? But you need to allocate in your monthly budget that you are going to put this money towards a financial goal. Otherwise, you'll find yourself, like we talked about in the beginning, just spending frivolously, spending however you want, spending however the wind blows, okay? Does that make sense? Let me know if you want me to go over that again. If you want me to touch on something, let me know. Put a 1 in the chat if that makes sense. I see a 1. Let me get a couple more 1s to make sure. If it doesn't make sense, put a 2 in the chat. I'm seeing some 1s. I see some 1. Okay, I see some 1s. So it makes sense. It's clear. All right. All right. Now, what happens if you create your zero-based budget and you put your income at the top and you start subtracting the monthly expenses, and even before you are able to save and tithe, you at a negative number? That means you have more expenses than income coming in. And again, it doesn't matter your income, because if you have $5,000 income, but you have $6,000 of expenses going out, ma'am, how are you going to achieve that financial goal that you set for yourself? How are you going to actualize the vision statement? Did somebody come off mute? Does somebody have something to say? Okay. How are you going to actualize that, right? If you have a $2,000 income, but you only pay $500 in expenses, you are better off because you have $1,500 left over to put towards your financial goal, saving and tithing, than the person who makes $5,000 but spends $6,000 a month, right? So as we start to create a budget, we realize that oftentimes it's not the income that's our issue. It's the spending. It's the lack of financial discipline. It's the lack of intentionality and sitting down and planning out our finances. That's the issue, right? All right. So I'm going to move on. If y'all got any questions, drop it in the chat. I can answer it at the end. All right. Step number 4, check in and track your progress at least monthly. Oh, and by the way, if you are in need of some financial tools for like budgeting, for tracking your expenses, like Christina read in the bio, I did create the Ultimate Financial Planner. It's on my website, where you get 12 months of budget, debt trackers, savings trackers, all those good things all in one book, okay? And I also have a digital version of a zero-based budget, to where you could just input the numbers, input the expenses, and then calculate everything for you. So head over to yourprettypennies.com if you need financial tools to support you. Everything I talk about, I have financial tools to go with it. Sorry about that. I meant to mention that. So let's talk about tracking our expenses. And this is a picture of the Ultimate Financial Planner. This is the monthly budget page, right? So I'm going to minimize the chat for a second. So check in and track your progress. Your financial plan doesn't work unless you do. So let's go back to the beginning. At this point, over the weekend, you have created your big picture goal, right? This is my vision for my finances. These are the areas in which my finances are going to support me. This is what I'm going to be intentional about my money starting now. Although, we kind of get in gear for 2024, but starting now, I'm going to be intentional with my money, right? You're declaring it. So you create your vision statement. And then step 2 is, okay, I'm going to pull one goal out of that main goal, out of that main vision, and I'm going to work on it first, right? I'm going to pay off credit card debt, or I'm going to save $5,000, or I'm going to buy my first rental property, whatever that looks like, right? And you create that goal. And then step 3, you're going to create your budget, and you're going to make sure inside of your budget, you can see your financial goal, and you see how much you can put towards your goal and every month, and you can see that it's realistic, and